Hello, dear students and researchers. I'm Dr. Mohammed Irfan Maksud, Director and Founder of iMac Research. Today, we are going to talk about the second topic of our research methods series, the course series. We are going to talk about the scientific publications and the skills required to write and edit a scientific paper. Also, I will discuss about some assignments during this course so you guys can work at homes and improve your skills. As we have discussed in our previous lecture, what kind of a type of the scientific publications or the scientific or scholarly literatures are. There are four types of literatures. The one is the scientific articles, the patents, the books, and news. We have discussed in details all these. These are known as scholarly literatures because these are the research works and opinions which are reviewed by the experts. These are a research work providing problem, solution, remedy. So it is a complete solution, it's not just only the publishing of paper, it's a complete solution known as problem, solution, remedy. And these are also having the concepts, hypothetical concepts or the solutions with some basis supported by the logics and reasons. These are also known as the contents which are published by the scholarly publishers. What are the scholarly publishers? Scholarly publishers are the publishers of peer-reviewed research contents. These publishers follow the global scientometric guidelines. This scientometric is actually a subfield of a data science which concerns with the measuring and analyzing the scholarly literatures. Scientometrics, along with the bibliometrics and the informatics, they are combinedly known as the information sciences or data sciences. So this deals with the ranking of scholarly publishers, which actually is giving the production quality or the qualitative outputs of scholarly publishers. When we consider about the ranking systems of scholarly publishers, we found there are about 10 globally recognized or authentic ranking systems. I have arranged here on the basis of the priorities. For example, number one is the impact factor or CiteScores. The impact factor and CiteScores, impact factor is assigned by the Thomson Reuters and Web of Science, and the CiteScore, which is assigned by the Scopus. So these factors are based on the citations, kind of average citations. So these are important, the globally recognized ranking systems of scholarly journals. For example, a journal with impact factor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 100 plus. The second is SCImago journal rankings, which is also a kind of Scopus ranking systems, which rank the journals based on several factors. There are also some others like H index or H5 index, also the TQCC, means top quartile citation counts, also the expert survey scores. For example, here they assign the scores based on the journals which are assigned by some experts. For example, the well-known scientists in biology, they said the Cell Biology International is a good journals. For example, they assign a scores, and these scores are given by some experts. For example, you can say the publisher systems actually they are doing like this to list, for example, top 500 experts in one discipline. So these top 500 experts are giving one scores to one journals. So also there are some publication power approach, some Altmetrics, which is article level metrics, also a diamScores and source normalized impact per papers, which is mostly focusing on the subject relations with. And also there are some other page ranking algorithms like the Google's PageRank algorithms known as Eigenfactors. So these are 10 known the ranking systems of the scholarly publishers. But the interesting thing is that all these ranking systems, they are not authenticated by any governmental department of any country. So that's why there are some controversies existed all around there. Considering the value, for example, there is no government authentic ranking systems. Some international institutes and foundations, supported by the government with the help of several well-known groups, They signed declarations on a research assessment in San Francisco to establish a more reliable global scholarly research ranking systems. Because in this way, they can have a one unified assessment, which is not available right now because they are working on this. So, considering this kind of controversies, every country, the National Research Council is also developing some kind of rankings of the global publishers. For example, the Spain National Research Council ranked the 10 top 10 the scholarly publishers. They put the Cambridge University Press at the first. So all the journals published by the Cambridge University Press, they are the prestigious journals. The second is the Oxford University Press, then the Springer Nature Publishing Groups, also the Routledge Publishing Groups, the Elsevier's, the Peter Lang, Thomson Reuters, Blackwell or Wiley, the Grotter and McGraw-Hill publisher groups. So these scholarly publishers, they are publishing scientific articles, research news, and also the scientific books. So scientific articles, we have several types of scientific articles as we discussed also, and we will discuss further in future lessons also. The top 10 scientific articles, including, for example, original research articles, literature review papers, research notes, case studies, epidemiological reports. You can find all the basic introductions of all these kind of research scientific papers on our Science Insight Academy YouTube channels, because we have described what are the important components of all these papers and what are the common mistakes while you are writing these kind of papers. So these are all known as the scholarly literatures, means scientific papers. So we can have some examples of the scientific articles. For example, see, this is, if you are a management student, you can understand. This is a top, among the top and highly cited management papers. They're entitled as the Bad Management Theories Are Destroying Good Management Practices, published by the Academy of Management. And in these articles, we see normally the journals which is publishing with the years, the volume numbers, issues, page numbers on these of this journal, and also we have the author names and the institutions and affiliations. If we see another examples, the publishers is also mentioned on the first page of the articles, along with the journals, because some papers are published by the journals, some journals are part of a publishing groups, as we discussed the top 10 scholarly publishers listed by the Spanish National Research Council. So here we can also find all some articles also have the ISSN of the journals, which is the International Standard Serial Numbers, and also all articles, they are having a DOI. DOI is a digital object identifiers, which is unique for every articles. Till now, there are about 70 billion DOIs have been assigned for several kind of articles. So every article has an abstract and some keywords which are describing, actually summarizing the articles. And if we see again the another example of the articles, you can find the Elsevier publishing logo here. Also some article info like the keywords and abstracts. Also, in some cases, there are some articles very clearly mentioning their DOIs in another examples of the British Journal of Management, abstracts, and all other these things. So when we know the basics of the articles, then how to write an articles. Actually, writing an article is a cycle of writing and editing and publishing process. It starts from what we want to publish, actually, what we want to write, means identify the research area. This is also our first assignment in this course. You have to identify which research area, which research keywords you want to choose. For example, your research area in management sciences is the supply chain management. So you then design a research study based on that research area. And then based on that research study, of course, we will discuss how to design a research study in our next lessons. Then how to, and then you have to carry out the research, means getting the data, and then analyzing these results, and then writing, drafting, and publishing the research results in a journals. So these skills, generally, they are known as the writing, editing, and publishing skills. So you have to polish these skills, and you can polish these skills using the trial and error mechanisms. Of course, with the passage of time, trial error improved, and you will learn the things. So writing and editing skills are important part of the communications. Some people say that I don't want to write an article. So I don't want to be a researcher. So I do not need actually the writing skills. But actually, they are wrong. Writing actually is an off-the-face communications. For example, you are sitting with everybody, you are writing a report, you are writing your career objectives, you are writing the daily activities of the company reports, whatever you are doing, the emails, communications, the cover letters, actually you need the writing skills. So the first of all, the basic thing is we can say the writing and editing skills are the prerequisite of the professionalism in careers, especially in academia or industry. Yeah, if you are having your own company and your own business, and you don't care about its loss and everything, then yeah, of course you do not need the writing skills. But being professionals in the careers, you have to develop the writing editing skills, because it's a fact that you will not be able to sustain your job if you are not skilled enough in writing and editing. As it has been surveyed by the National Association of Colleges and Employees of the United States, that they talked about the employers, that what are the basic, the primary skills which they are looking for. The 73% of them, they asked about the writing skills in the communications, means written communication skills. Whereas the second is the verbal communication skills, which were the top priority of about 60% of the employers in the United States. So the written communications and the verbal communication skills, they are the top demanded skills, almost the 75% of the employers in the United States. So you have to develop these skills. So how you can enhance your skills, you can improve your skills. So it's a general algorithms mechanisms, means you have to divide your brain into two sections, the knowledge and creativity, if you want to enhance your writing editing skills. Why we say means you have to divide your brains, because writer is a creator, which is creating a story. So if you have a knowledge, but you don't know how to write it, it means you learn some knowledge, but you don't know how to create the new versions, how to criticize, how to analyze the knowledge. So you have to learn how to divide your brain into two sections, means one part for the knowledge and second part for the creativity. So the knowledge and creativity should go parallel to develop your writing skills. So a writer actually is creating a story from some raw data or raw imagination. So a writer should have a deep imagination powers. They should know the trial error improved kind of set of skills. They should have the ability to find the blind spot of the stories. They should have strong knowledge of scientific writing, and they should understand the important components of a scientific articles. For example, you are writing a review papers, you should know what are the basic components of that review papers. For example, original research papers, or organizational reports, or epidemiological reports, or technology development reports. You should know what are the basic components of your scientific articles, what kind of headings you are giving it, what kind of subheadings you are giving it. And also you should have the ability to conceptualize the creativity, means what to create and how to create. The basic things we talked, that you have to divide your brains half with the knowledge and half for the creativity. So creating a story needs the deep imagination powers. This is the first things. Imagination actually is a power to unlock your creative potentials. Imaginations play a role in the human development and problem solving by allowing individuals to explore new ideas, envision possibilities, and generate innovative solutions. If you want to unlock your potentials, you have to start thinking. Thinking, and thinking. Actually, the same word, the science, is a Latin word derived from the scientia, means thinking. So you have to start thinking. Imaginations not just only boost your creativity, it also helps to reduce the stress and anxiety. It also helps to improve your problem solving skills and also your memory and learnings. Because when you are imagining a lot of things, you are actually reminding the memory with the passage of times. The second most important part for being a writer, the most important skill is actually the trial and error improved kind of set of skills. When we say about trial and error improved, it's a kind of theorems which engage high level of cognitive skills such as attention, working memory to improve the learning efficiency. These are the basic skills we have learned since we are born. If you see in these pictures, for example, a child is learning how to walk and he's doing mistakes. He's trying and again trying, and with the passage of times he is improving. So trial error and improved actually is a theorems. We are is a naturally built in theorems in our bodies, in our brains. So the same is applied for the writing skills. You have to write and write and write again and again, doing the mistakes, finding the errors, improve their contents, and then after that you can finalize your first draft. So it's a kind of inherited skill of every person to create a story, but we have to polish it. We have to enlighten our the skills. Another thing is the important thing is to find out the blind spots. I'm giving here an examples. For examples, you are driving a car, so you see the forward vision, the side visions, and also the back visions. You see everything, but there are some blind spots. You think that you are observing everything, you are seeing everything in your surrounding, but actually you are having some blind spots. If you understand that blind spots, you can control everything. But if you don't understand that blind spots, you can cause the accidents. So finding a blind spot in a story actually is to maintain the cohesion and coherence of a story, means a flow of knowledge. So if you understand these things, you can remove your blind spots and then find out the lack of the flow of the knowledge, and then you can maintain it. Also, you should know, you should have a strong knowledge of the scientific writings. Means what are scientific writings? What they are doing? Because as we discussed in our first lecture, you should know the five WH, what, why, when, who, and where of the knowledge, of the writing skills, or everything. Because the scientific knowledge the scientific writings have some basic components. For example, you should know about the pre-publishing protocols. You should know about the type of scientific articles. You should know the components of each type of scientific articles. You should know about the basic of the scholarly journals, the identifying the journals, finding the journals. You should know the scientific indexing database, and what after your paper has been published, means the post-publishing protocols of our papers. When you understand all these things, means you develop a strong knowledge of scientific writings, then you can write a very good papers which can receive a very good citations and can improve your career. So if we see the components of a scientific article is an important sections where we have two general formulas. You can also develop your own formulas, but when you are expert, the one is the IMRAD structures of an original research articles. IMRADs means introductions, material, methods, results, and discussions. The second formula is like ILDEC structures, means introduction, literature review, discussion, and conclusion structures. With the passage of times, when you are following these things, even you can create your own customized structures of some other type of articles. Means you are writing a commentary, opinions, case reports, organizational reports, or even a technology development reports, then you can customize your own structural component of the scientific papers. But the most important things in all is the headings and subheadings should have a flow of knowledge, means knowledge should be flowing. The flow of knowledge is the most important thing in a story because it gives the attractions to your story. If you know about the Arabian Nights actually is a masterpiece of flow of knowledge. And if you don't know, I suggest you guys have to find out the book Arabian Nights in your local language and read it. You will find out that every story, the 20% of the story is related to the previous story, and the 20% at the end of the story is related to the next story. So they are connected with each other. You will read the one stories, automatically you will be attracted for the second stories, for then third night, then the fourth night, then fifth night. The night means is a story. Every night it is a story. So you should read the Arabian Nights to understand how the knowledge is flowing from stories to story. The same things from sentence to sentence, from heading to heading. So when, for example, a reader is searching on the Google's your research papers, they will find out the first titles. So your title should be impressive. From the titles, they should be attracted to read the abstract, and from abstract to introductions, then the material methodology, until they read all of your papers. So flow of knowledge is the most important sections in creating a knowledge story. So, considering all these things, when, for example, you understand this flow of knowledge, you are maintaining it. So of course, you have to maintain the creativity of the stories. The more novelty, more creative of your story is, the better journals will accept your paper for publications. For creativity, what you need is the expertise in the subjects, and also the motivations to discovery. Not just only the paper for the resume. Means if you have a motivation to discover something new, then automatically your brain is forcing you to do the creativity. And also some skills to imagine a complete story in mind before writing some things. Because when you have a complete imagination about a story, it means your research titles, for example, the bad management theories destroy the good management practice. If you understand this titles has itself a complete story. So you have to create imaginative stories, then titleized it, and then you have to write a text. Always follow the theory of never-ending 5W, as I discussed. It is the basic foundation of the knowledge. So it can create an impressive story. Means what is the story? Why am I writing this story? Where I want to publish this? When it will be published and distributed globally, and who will read and cite my research works. So what, why, when, where, who, it is a continuous process. It should be a continuous process to create an impressive story. So developing some basic skills, you should understand what are the common mistakes happening in our scientific papers. So you cannot do that mistakes while you are creating your imaginative stories. When we studied about some common mistakes, means we found some young researchers who have drafted their papers, and they have some three basic mistakes. For example, they focus too much on data instead of analyzing the data. They assemble a lot of text, and instead of assembling the knowledge, a paper is not a piece of the text. A paper actually is a piece of knowledge. So when you are assembling the knowledge, analyzing the data, these things should be edited by the senior researchers, because these mistakes have been done by several young researchers, and they tried not to publish their first research. So in many cases, the main issue is not about these things. It is about a creative story having a perfect concept. Means the story is not creative. They are analyzing the data, assembling the knowledge, edited by the researchers, but the story is not a creative, and there is not a perfect concept. Means why you are going to publish this paper. So creative story having a perfect concept is one of the most important things. There are several abilities which you can develop with the passage of times. Means the ability to select, ability to understand the scientific methods, how science works, ability to evaluate the research done by the scientist, ability to correlate the authentic result, and ability to make conclusions and suggestions. So these abilities can also help you if you develop to write your first scientific papers. How you can acquire these skills and abilities? First of all, you have to be a part of the volunteer teams of student scientific magazines published by your university, or ask your editorial teams to serve as an editor on a voluntary basis. It will help you to understand a scientific publishing process, and a lot of knowledge is paper in the form of papers which is coming to the scientific magazines, and they are editing it and doing a review process. So you can understand the review process, what trend is going on in a journal. The second, Scientific blogging is also another way to improve your writing and editing skills. You can also write your daily diaries about your university lives, about anything that happens in the society, in the university, in your class. So, writing these daily diaries will help you to improve your writing and editing skills. Another most important action or practice is write some frequent report of every project. For example, you are assigned a project for a seminars or like this. Don't just only focus just to give the presentations to the class or your professors. Focus, write a report, 1 page, 2 page, because this writing a report of every project will help you to improve your writing and editing skills. Also, do your daily blogging about your university life, as we discussed, means scientific bloggings. You can also do the daily bloggings. The scientific blogging actually is discussed about the science, but daily blogging is discussed about your daily life in the university as a student. Also, you can participate in several workshops, seminars, and departmental journal clubs to understand the topics which they are discussing, the creativity, the current trends, and the knowledge. So, when the article is written, the second step goes to for editing and then publishing that scientific articles. What is editing actually? Editing involves careful reviewing research materials before it is published and suggesting or making changes to correct or improve your paper. Editing is divided into several sections. The first important section of scientific editing is the structural editings. As we discussed, the structural components of every scientific paper. That's why we included that. You should know about the main components of a scientific paper. Means what the headings you are using, what are the subheadings, what are the components, means the introductions, the material methodologies, the results, the discussions, everything is in place. And then it is about the stylistic editings, where you have to understand which formats you are following and what kind of grammatic knowledge you are applying on your papers. Also, some techniques of the copy editings. Also, some kind of proofreadings, means reading again and again and again to improve the stories, to understand the stories. Because the first times when you are writing one articles, then you are reading it for the second times, you will find a lot of mistakes. The third times, again, a lot of mistakes. Fourth times, again, a lot of mistakes. And it will continue until you develop a kind of unique set of the articles. Also, some kind of acquisitions, editings, comparative editings based on the articles published in another journals. Also, some kind of taggings, means electronic codings, a kind of this. Some fact checkings, means everything you are writing, you should check it, find the references, and the reference should be cited properly. And also, the indexing status of every manuscript, for example, do not write the in-press articles as a reference, means because they are not the authentic references. You should understand how the manuscripts are being evaluated, and you can evaluate the level of the manuscripts based on the demands or the solutions or the problems issues, and also the production editings and a kind of rewritings. The production editing means for example, you have completed the articles, you submitted it to our journals, and the journal has rejected with several reasons. Then, instead of getting disheartened, you can do a productive editing process, means exactly rewriting the articles, writing a new formats. You do not just to change the grammars or the English, because many young aspiring researchers, what they do, they hand over their articles to, for example, some English editors, and they please improve the articles. But the problem again is the perfect concepts of the creative story. So you can change the titles, you can change the concepts, you can change the introductions, you can change the backgrounds, and you can present your results in another way. I mean, another dimensions you can give to your articles. So when your article is written and edited, then you go for the publishing. The first most important step in publishing is choosing a journals or the publishers. You can choose among the top 10 publishers. You can, if you are writing for the first times, of course, the top 10 publishers in the world, they have some uh, strict criteria. You can find out some local journals, the national journals, the international journals of your regions, subject related journals. Means you have to choose a journals. When you have finalized the journals, for example, A, B, C, three journals, the three top priorities, then we have to read the author guidelines of all these journals. Author guidelines of every journal is described how you can format your paper then before submitting to the journal. Then after reading these author guidelines, you can format the scientific articles. And when the scientific articles, your scientific article has been formatted as per the author guidelines of our journals, then you can submit to the journal following the guidelines. So the journal can send it for the peer review process. When the peer review is done, sometimes, most of the times actually, it requires some revisions. Sometimes it is a major revision, sometimes it is a minor revisions, or sometimes it is rejected. And in case of rejections, again, you have to do the revisions, means the productivity things, means rewriting the papers, and then resubmission of the manuscript. The usually journal also guide that please improve the articles, and then again you can resubmit to the journal. Then again, you can resubmit the manuscripts, and if the manuscript is accepted, you can wait for the publishings. Usually this process is done by the journals or publishers. And when the article is published, then they do the indexing. And after that, you can create some researcher profiles on some social medias, which we will discuss in our next course, what kind of web tools and softwares you need, social medias you need, because because your researcher profile will help you to connect with the like-minded peoples of the scientific communities. And then you can go for the distributions of your published works, which is a post-publishing phase of the publishing of your research paper, the scientific papers. For further readings, you can read the Simplifying the Scientific Writing book as a series of the Learn the Basics by the Altmetrics. This book is available on the Apple books, also on the Amazon's Kindle readers. If you are the Prime members, you can get it from the free. You can download it and you can read it, or either you can order it searching the Simplifying the Scientific Writing and from the Amazon in a paperback versions and hardcovers, and you can receive it at your doorstep. This book actually is summarizing all the basic things about the writing of scientific papers, which can help you to write your first papers. Thanks, and I wish you luck for the good writing.